I also got I was reading into very quickly over the Melbourne Mushroom Murders.
Right.
It's funny because there's something about, look at this lady, Erin Patterson.
Okay.
48 years. She's crying. You see this picture here? She's going.
Yeah, that is. You make that noise a lot, and I can match that. That's not what I'm going to picture.
Oh yeah, I see it there. Yeah, real.
It is a legend right now that Erin Patterson, 48, of Leon Gotha, God knows how that's pronounced, killing 3 people and critically wounding a Baptist pastor using these things called death cap mushrooms. Ooh. So it's a highly toxic fungus. Now she's saying, I bought these at the grocery store.
Yeah,
right? She's trying to say when they're like, well, we're looking at all the other mushrooms we have at the grocery store, and we don't see any other death cap mushrooms inside of it.
Oh, you didn't see that at the Gelson's? They were selling them. It was $5 a pound. Death cap mushrooms.
It's good because you could look at this. This death cap mushroom, if you look at it.
Oh, yeah, I got them pulled up.
If you think that that's a white capped mushroom, then you should not be eating it because it looks like it's rotting on the outside. It's got like dark, weird circles all over it. It looks poisonous.
It looks foreboding, yeah.
And so she made for her family, her beloved family, which she said her most precious family, her most favorite people in the world, she would never do this to.
It was one of her favorite families.
It was her ex-husband's parents and their local pastor and the ex-husband.
Why were they all together?
It's one of those.
What a nightmare.
I always question people that are really close with their exes. Like, super, unless you got kids involved. They have kids, so I understand why you'd be involved with your exes.
Also, sometimes people break up for different reasons. They still like each other, but just not in love anymore.
But it's just
I actually stayed close friends with an ex for about 2 years.
I would like to stay closer, but then it turns out that you end up dating other people, and then that person gets upset, and then you have to. It just is what it is.
But
I have no hatred.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, but she got her sister. Right, this is Gail's sister, so she got her ex-husband's mother, sister, sick. She's sick. Her actual husband, Ian Wilkinson, is sick. And then the pastor, who was from the Corumbura was also struck down. She put it into a beef Wellington. And now we know, I love this.
Don't ruin a beef welly.
They died hard. Now, the ex-husband's also coming out saying, I ate a thing that my ex-wife cooked, and I was hospitalized for 16 days.
Wow.
At the time, we see this often. I don't know if you saw anything about the Mormon woman that killed her husband, poisoned him. Now, she's alleged that she poisoned him, but she's then wrote a book after about how to cope
that's very
with mourning,
yes.
right? Like how to mourn a dead husband, and she made a bunch of money off the book, and then it turns out she did a highly coordinated effort to murder him.
Wow.
And then he kept telling all of his friends, my wife's gonna fucking kill me.
Right.
I keep eating food that's making me sick. But because he was a Mormon, he was deathly afraid to get a divorce. He didn't want to get out.
Yeah.
But you see this. We've been talking a lot about how women don't do homicides as often, and they normally cover up their tracks.
I got a story for you.
These women are getting sloppy.
Yeah.
I got a fucking story for you.
They're getting sloppy.
You see this story? This Ohio teen, 19 years fucking old. She drove her goddamn car 100 miles an hour into a wall, killing her ex-boyfriend and his friend. And she survived. She's been charged. She's going to prison for life.
Well, I'm glad it's different. But it is similar in terms of people died.
She was crying in court. She drove her car 100 miles into a wall, and then both of the people in the car were there. This was not reckless driving. The judge says it was murder. And do you know what county the judge was coming from? Cuyahoga.
Well, I feel like we can come back to this because there's a lot to left of my story because this is an entire thing that doesn't really connect.
He got it out of a system, though.
I'm glad he did.
Yeah, you got it out of a system.
I'm glad that he did.
You don't fuck with the Cuyahoga court system.
I think that's how that is. But she says she refuses to tell the investigators how she remotely got in touch with the death cap mushrooms. She doesn't know how she got them. And
she doesn't know.
No, that's what she's saying. And she also then went ahead and threw away the food dehydrator that she used to make the beef Wellington. But still at the same time, I would never kill my family.
I don't believe you, though. But wow,
she went through shit.
Man, I'll never forget when we got that food dehydrator growing up. I don't know why it was the 90s trend. Big-ass machine. But you got yourself some banana chips, totally solid. You can make some potato chips in there. This is before the air fryer.
Jackie was on a food dehydrator.
Why did they go out of style?
I that was one of my weird quarantine purchases.
You got one?
Yeah, I got one, and I used it. I used it a few times, and then I stopped.
It takes the moisture out of the food.
What did you use it for?
Apples.
Yeah, apple slices, very solid. I mean, also you're not, you're not tethered to a jungle gym with a hat on. You don't need. I also don't think you need to just have just my apple slices.
No. You can have fully fleshed, moisturized apples.
You can have wet apples.
It was New York City quarantine. I needed something to fill the days. I had to fill the days.
But in case if you were wondering, apparently the 3 dead relatives were selfless people who spread positivity at every chance. Now, I do think it would be nice every once in a while to hear, well, old Gail, she was a bitch. But they never do that. They never do that.
Well, sometimes they do, but I mean, even when my grandmother died, the woman that was giving the sermon, oh, Lillian, all she did was spread love and joy and just a bunch of other fucking lies. I'm just sitting there looking at my whole family like, what is this? Are we talking about the same goddamn Lillian that I had as a grandmother?
Exactly.
But that's what happens when you die. You are allowed one paragraph of total bullshit about how great you are as a person.
That's what you earn.
You've earned it.
You've earned that by being alive. Now, Aaron says again, according to Gail, there was Gail, her ex-husband's mother. Gail was like the mum I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago, and Gail had never had anything but good and kind. Had never been anything but good and kind to me. Ian and Heather were some of the best people I'd ever met. They never did anything wrong to me. I'm so devastated about what's happened to the loss of the community and to the families and to my own children. They lost their own grandmother, which I also find interesting because she made the beef Wellington for the entire family, but she made herself and her 2 kids something else entirely different. Because according to Erin Patterson, she said it was because I didn't feel like beef welly.
Whoa,
Which is
really?
She didn't feel like it at the time, and it's an enormously complicated. It takes a long time to make
Very long
time to make a beef welly.
Happened to be full of poison.
Yeah, she killed an entire fucking family, dog.
Well,
I'm seeing here that she said that she's this whole thing has made her extremely stressed.
What?
Also, this woman's mom just died 4 years ago. It wasn't the mom you never had. It seems like she had a mom for the most of the time.
I don't understand anything. Gail was like my mama for real.
Oh, Patterson claims that she bought the dried mushrooms at a grocer in Melbourne that was Asian.
That's
Just stop blaming other.
These grocers, they were Asian.
All right. There you go. The cable guy.
They're gonna get her eventually, but yeah, it's hard. It's the crying.
You guys are married. I have a toss-up question for you guys.
Sure.
Toss up.
It's going to be involving marriage, okay?
All right.
This is coming from this is a sex and relationships question. My wife has a terminal illness. She wants to have sex with her ex one last time. So this is a man.
She's horny with cancer?
Yes.
A lot of people get horny with cancer.
Yeah, so then use it on me.
No. She is, okay, so he explained that his wife, she needs to be in a wheelchair. She's going to need to be in a wheelchair for 4 or 5 months, and then she's going to be bedridden and she's going to decline really fast. But before that, she wants to bang her ex.
Nope.
And so he says,
you get fucking divorced. Guess what? You get to spend the end of your life fucking alone.
She only has 9 months to live.
You go let him fuck you as much as you want.
He says, my wife is a terminal disease. She's got 9 months. Of course I'm destroyed. We've been together for a decade.
That's not long.
He says, I don't remember life without her, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe a brain issue. But he says, I've been doing my best to make the last days of her life good, and he wants to grant her wish. And then his wife said, I just want to fuck my ex-boyfriend.
Does hospice have a cuck, section? Is that a whole thing? No.
Are we getting the full story here?
She said, he lamented. He said, recently she sat me down and told me that one of the last things she wanted to do was have sex with a previous partner of hers. I, of course, was shocked, and I asked, why the fuck does she want to do that? Basically, she thinks that her most physically compatible, satisfying lover was him.
You are out on the fucking street.
Wow.
You lose the health insurance. You lose everything. You're gone. Yeah. It is done. That's what you want.
Hold on.
That's what you want to do with the last 9 months of your shriveled life.
Hold on. He says she gave a whole monologue about how sex sometimes is just physical and how emotionally fulfilling sex is with me. But it was all bullshit at that point.
She's full of shit. No, you see, the sex with you is emotionally fulfilling.
Yeah.
That's horse shit.
No, that's not horse shit.
Yeah, it is.
No,
it's called you don't make me come, but I look at you and I don't want to kill you after. That's Sam.
Well, he does. He says, honestly, I'm so pissed. I'm betrayed. And
You're
I
out
feel
of
like
the house.
And
you can go down to your fucking, go do whatever you want.
And he says, I feel like I'm put in this position where I have to say yes because she's dying.
I'm secure enough. Go for it.
Unbelievable.
Okay, but so she's coming back into the home.
Yeah, she's going like she's dying.
You know what it is? We've taken care of each other, and now I'm taking care of you.
Yeah.
You're actively in a terminal state.
9 months though, bro. You're in and out. Also, let's be honest. Also, you do have to remember, you have to call the ex up and be like, hey, you want to fuck my cancer-ridden wife?
Yeah, and he's
the
probably
chick
like,
you banged 10 years ago?
Ask that guy. Does he want to?